It looks petty. It looks like you're being a sore loser. It looks like you are making excuses.
Imagine being the most talked about rookie in WNBA history, bringing millions of new fans to the game, only to watch as referees allow opponents to physically abuse you game after game. That's exactly what happened to Caitlin Clark in her rookie year, and the footage doesn't lie. From Jackie Young smacking her in the face, called just a common foul, to Alyssa Thomas bulldozing her with a shoulder check that somehow wasn't a flagrant, the pattern is impossible to ignore. We've compiled every major missed call against Clark this season, and when you see them back-to-back, you'll understand why fans are furious. The way she gets under opponents' skin is undeniable, but the way officials have treated the WNBA's brightest new star all season is beyond questionable. Take the playoffs, for example, September 22nd, Indiana Fever versus Connecticut Sunday. The basketball world was watching as Clark, the rookie who transformed women's basketball, stepped onto the biggest stage of her young career. With 5:48 left in the second quarter, everything changed. Harassed by Dejonai Carrington, Clark passed to Aaliyah Boston and took a shot, but as Carrington lunged for the ball, her fingers made direct contact with Clark's eye. The impact was immediate. Clark recoiled, visibly dazed, instinctively grabbing her face. You could literally see the pain register across her expression. And what happened next? Absolutely nothing. No whistle. No foul. The crowd waited and waited, but the refs stayed silent, letting play continue as Clark struggled to blink away the pain and refocus on the game. Even the broadcast team couldn't believe it. Clark gets hit in the face by Carrington and is down, they exclaimed, their voices rising with disbelief. The officials, however, didn't care. No call was made, leaving Indiana without even the option to challenge. Clearly not intentional from Carrington, but the contact was undeniable, enough that it should have been a personal foul at the very least. What makes this moment so revealing isn't just the missed call itself, it's what happened afterward. Clark didn't throw a fit or argue with the officials. She didn't demand an explanation. She simply absorbed the hit, a bruise already forming around her eye, and kept playing. But the damage was done. Her rhythm was completely thrown off, finishing the first half shooting an abysmal 1-for-9. Meanwhile, fans weren't nearly as quiet. Social media exploded, calling it one of the worst officiated basketball games of all time and an absolute embarrassment to the league. The clips went viral within minutes, with viewers from all corners of the sports world unable to believe what they'd just seen. And here's the real issue. This wasn't some isolated incident. The eye poke was just the latest example of an entire season where Clark was physically targeted with little to no protection from officials. Game after game, she endured hard fouls, body checks, and aggressive defense that crossed the line from competitive to dangerous. This isn't just the normal rookie treatment. It's something more. And through it all, Clark never used officiating as an excuse. She never complained in post-game interviews. She just kept playing, despite the bruises accumulating both physically and mentally. But let's talk about the double standard. If you thought the eye poke with no call was bad, wait until you see the absurd officiating Clark has dealt with all season. One game saw her receive a technical foul for barely touching the backboard after missing a shot. Meanwhile, in the same game, a veteran player physically shoved her from behind during a timeout, and the refs pretended it didn't happen. The August 18th game against the Seattle Storm made it crystal clear how ridiculous the officiating has become. Clark missed a three-pointer and, out of frustration with herself, lightly tapped the padding on the basket. Instantly, the referee blew the whistle, technical foul. Even a commentator was stunned, and Caitlin Clark gets hit with a technical. After the game, Clark explained what happened. I got a technical for basically being mad at myself because I missed the three, and then I went and hit the backboard. He told me it was disrespectful to the game of basketball. Let that sink in. A tap on some padding was deemed disrespectful. Meanwhile, in the very same game, Skylar Diggins-Smith physically shoved Clark from behind during a timeout. This wasn't an accident or a basketball play. It was a deliberate push in full view of the officials and the entire arena. And what did the referees do? Absolutely nothing. No technical. No warning. Not even an acknowledgement that it happened. Fans booed in disbelief, and social media erupted immediately. How does Clark get punished for showing the slightest frustration while a veteran can physically assault her without consequences? It's not just inconsistent officiating, it's a blatant double standard. This pattern continued all season. On August 28th against Connecticut, Alyssa Thomas delivered a brutal shoulder check that sent Clark crashing to the floor. Fans gasped. The excessive contact was undeniable, yet the refs only called a common foul. No review. No flagrant. Nothing. And then, on September 11th against Las Vegas, Jackie Young made direct contact with Clark's face, causing her to stumble backward. Again, just a common foul. Even Fever head coach Christy Sides couldn't stay silent after watching her star player get hammered without protection. "We've just got to get better with the officiating," she stated. "We've got to get some of those calls." When a coach breaks the unwritten rule of not criticizing officials, you know things are out of hand. The disparity is staggering. The same hits that would send NBA players to the locker room with flagrant fouls were being downgraded or completely ignored when they happened to Clark. And it's not just dangerous, it's reckless. On May 20th against Connecticut, Clark rolled her ankle badly after a hard screen and was clearly in pain on the floor. Did the refs stop play to check on the league's biggest star? Nope. They let action continue while she writhed in pain. What we're witnessing isn't just tough rookie treatment or physical basketball. It's a systematic pattern of officials allowing Clark to be targeted in ways that wouldn't be tolerated for other players. This inconsistency isn't just frustrating for fans. It creates an unsafe playing environment for the very player bringing millions of new viewers to the league. If the WNBA refuses to step in and protect their biggest star, then Clark has no choice but to protect herself. And judging by her recent transformation, that's exactly what she's doing. She's added noticeable muscle, making it clear she won't be pushed around this season. Can you imagine what she could accomplish with fair officiating? The WNBA is sitting on a gold mine with Clark, yet they're risking it all by allowing this double standard to continue. If they truly want to capitalize on this unprecedented momentum, they need to address the officiating bias immediately. This isn't just about protecting one player, it's about preserving the integrity of the game and the future growth of women's basketball. Everyone sees it. Fans see it. Coaches see it. Now it's time for the WNBA to do something about it.